everybody. Welcome back to the Mirf and Vicious podcast. I'm here with my better looking half, the one, the only, Murphyano. How are we doing today, Murph?
I'm doing good, Vicious. How are you, my friend?
Doing good, doing good. Holidays are coming up. Busy time of the year, I feel like. But excited. Today we are going to talk some kind of Christmas traditions, for ourselves, and then, but we got to first start off with Wordle. You know what we got to do.
Wordle Durdle.
Okay, Murph, what is our five-letter word for today?
Let's go on ahead and hit it with that tough, baby.
Tough. Okay. We are tough. Well, there's an O and an H, so probably some O-U or something O-U-H or
Hmm.
H-O-U. How about house? Bam. Let's go!
Let's go.
Second guess. Let's go. We
You're
like it.
going dumb, Vicious.
I didn't know. I just like at first I was like H doesn't sound right at the start, but it was. It was. Okay.
Let's go.
Well, that was a lot more painless than it has been at times. Sometimes we're
We've
doing
been
those and it's like for 10 minutes we're like, well,
we've been getting a lot better at
we
those.
are. We're our Wordle knowledge is growing. I gotta
Exactly.
start getting on Murph's level though and start playing like on a daily.
I mean, I just do it to stay prepped for this exact moment every week.
You gotta be ready. You never know what's gonna be thrown at you on the Wordle. Never know.
That could be like Bears or
Bears
House.
beats Battlestar
Battlestar
Galactica.
Galactica.
But yeah. So today, like I said, we are going to be talking some Christmas traditions. Just kind of some stuff that you know we do. If you're here in the podcast, let us know what your Christmas traditions are. We'd love to hear about that. But yeah, Murph, kind of start us off. Do you have any Christmas traditions or anything you usually do around the holidays?
I actually do not. I am I'm Muslim, so we don't really celebrate Christmas, but I have a lot of friends that do celebrate Christmas. So they like, but I'm never over there for Christmas. So I don't really know. I don't really do much. Kind of like a regular day for us Muslims.
Okay.
What about you, Vicious? What do you guys be doing?
Well, um, it kind of varies. It's kind of gone different ways in my life. Just kind of, as you get older and stuff like that. I feel like even just not even Christmas, but just traditions in themselves, those can change. But it just kind of when I was younger, we'd always go to my great grandma's. Would always reserve a church around. We'd go
Mm,
there. There'd be just food, and then just kind of getting together with like very extended family. It's really
right.
once or twice that we'd see that family a year, and then usually my grandpa, when he was alive, he would usually read. I think it was a Christmas Carol, something along those lines. He would always uh, do that, read that to all like kind of the grandkids. So it was good. It was fun. Nothing too crazy. And then kind of Christmas Day, wake up somewhat early, go open presents and all that stuff.
Right.
With the family, and then we usually go to my grandma's house. Uh, you know, and then after that, it was next like week. On a couch, we'd have our presents kind of laid throughout the couch for aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff like that to come see what you got for Christmas, since you didn't necessarily get to see everything, but a little kind of fun tradition. Kind of now growing older. Kind of been, a little bit different around. We usually typically on like I'll do like some Christmas parties with my dad's side of the family, and then my mom's side of the family will kind of have something kind of leading up to Christmas. Usually like the Saturday or two before, it'll be either like going to someone's house and having dinner or going somewhere for dinner. Kind of varies. And then Christmas Eve, usually go to my mom's house. Uh,
Mm.
where my sisters and their families come over and we'll just hang out, play games, eat dinner. Kind of usually wake up the next morning, just kind of take it slow, take it easy, because usually we'll do our kind of present stuff like that earlier in the day. And
Right.
then go to my grandma's house still, and then typically I'll end the night by heading over to my dad's house and finishing off. And then also my sisters and their families will be there as well.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So I think I was joking with someone. So like, do you have any Christmas traditions? And I like listed off, and they're like, that's a lot. And I'm like, actually, now that I say it, like it is a lot. I didn't realize, but I know there's other people out there that do a lot more stuff like that. So yeah, kind of
Hey, man, that's cool. Your family does that, dude. Honestly, that's awesome.
yeah.
Do you guys still do that?
Like I said, we do kind of the second part. So we're going to my mom's on Christmas Eve and my dad's Christmas Day and my grandma's. That's kind of still usually the same. In terms of my mom's and dad's, always my sisters and stuff like that are coming. And then in terms of like my grandma's, it kind of is hit or miss just because all the cousins and stuff like that, they are starting to have their own families and stuff like that. So people are
Right.
getting married and they
Okay.
have to go to this person and that person and this person. So, um, still my grandma's, there's still a good amount of people that show up. It's just kind of, it varies each year based off of, everyone starting, a lot of my cousins are having kids now. And so then they're having their own kids to do stuff with. So, but yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's cute though that the traditions get passed down from generation to generation.
yeah. Yeah, and can see that kind of continuing, but as we grow older, and just all things, kind of some traditions stay, some traditions kind of die out. Just because the hecticness and stuff like that kind of can be all over the place.
Yeah, I feel that.
So
I feel that.
I know, Murph, you kind of said you didn't do. Is there anything you guys specific? Is there anything you guys do, or just kind of around this time, just kind of sounds as as a normal day? Feel free to share as much or as little as you want.
Yeah, during Christmas time we don't do much. I mean, you know, uh, as Muslims we don't celebrate that, but like we'll pick up an extra shift at work because you get you get
Yep.
paid double time for working a
Got to get
holiday.
that money.
But we do have a holiday. I guess I can share that. It's towards the summer. It's called. I think it's Vardi Eid. And for the viewers, Vardi means big, and Choti means small. So Vardi Eid, I think I always get the two mixed up, but I believe Eid al Fitr, which is the Arabic term for it, is the celebration that signifies the start of Ramadan, which is when Muslims do a 30 days of fasting where you can eat anywhere from sundown up until sunrise, and then that whole time when the sun is up, you can't eat again till sunset. So, but before that, there's no real celebration. Ramadan in itself is a celebration. To many, even to myself as a younger kid, I didn't never see it as a celebration. I just thought of it as a nuisance. But as I got older, I saw the importance of it in my life, and it's only once a year. So, I it kind of just teaches you humbleness, to be honest, because teaches you like the hunger that others may feel, and it makes you feel more blessed for what you have on a daily basis. Where right now, if I'm hungry, I can literally go upstairs, make myself a sandwich, or like I have chicken breast in my fridge that's defrosted. I could go upstairs and make myself a 5 course meal right now if I wanted to. And there's others in this world that aren't as blessed, you know, when it comes to food or with a house over their head. Right now, I'm laying in 2 blankets because my room is freezing. So, Ramadan makes me appreciate pretty much everything that I have and everything that my family does for me and things, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, man. As you get older, you appreciate those things that used to annoy the hell out of you as a younger kid. But and then Choti Eid, I believe, is the celebration of once Ramadan ends. So what we do then is we go to a mosque or like a church for Muslims. We pray a special prayer, and then after that, you all kind of go home. We don't do it as much anymore because everybody kind of separates as you get older. So what used to happen though is that if you're young, like you're a young kid, people will give you money. I think it'll be randoms at the masjid who will give you money. Like I remember one day I got like $100 just coming out of the masjid because I was so small, like I was a little boy. And some random guy gave me $20 here, some random auntie gave me $20 here, some other then like repeat, repeat, repeat. I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, I just got $100. She's like, From who? I'm like, Well, it's Eid, so everybody. She's like, Give me the money. I'm like, Okay. So I made my mom $100 just coming out of the masjid for no reason. And then you get home and all the traditions and stuff. My grandma used to make a lot of food and stuff like that. May God rest her soul. Yeah, she used to make a shit ton of food, and the house used to be packed to the brim. But nowadays it's just kind of we come home, we might go out to dinner, might all sit down and watch a movie or something like that. That's pretty much it. Kind of always celebrate. And then Thanksgiving, we do Thanksgiving, but it's not in the same reason, I guess you could say. It's just kind of an excuse for someone to cook a bunch of food and we can all sit down. But again, families separate as they get older. Everybody is doing their own thing. So I'm thankful for Mrs. Murph because every year she puts in a good shift and it makes a bunch of good food for me. And either I go over to her house or she comes over to mine and we just eat all the food that she makes. We take a fat ass nap, get up, and do the same shit again.
Eat, repeat.
Yes, sir. That's the whole process on Thanksgiving, eh?
Okay, and they might be kind of different things, but I think kind of at the end of the day, it's a lot. With I feel like any tradition, any holiday, regardless, what religion you may be, it's well, it seems like a lot of times it's just being around family, being around loved ones, and I feel like yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of what holidays are. Sometimes they can like you kind of forget sometimes what the actual meaning was, but at the end of the day, you are, it ends up being a day around family, friends, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Um, I feel like I would assume Ramadan's a lot of, being around family and stuff like that as well. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. So no, no, no. Yeah, you're right. So iftari is basically when we break fast. And so an old tradition was that we would, obviously I keep saying the same thing, but it's just when you're younger, you're so used to these things that you think that when you get older, they'll still be around. And then when you get older and you kind of just are breaking fast by yourself, it, it's kind of it's kind of messed up when you look at it because you're so used to. An old tradition was that my uncle and my mom and my aunt, because we all used to live in the same house, they used to give us a 2 minute warning like in football. So it would be like you would just hear around the house 2 minute warning, 2 minute warning. And so then we would go do what's called vuzu, which is a way of cleansing ourselves so we are fully clean for prayer. So we'd go all sit at the dinner table. We'd read a prayer. Everyone would go around each day and say what they're thankful for. Then we would go pray. Then we would all come back, sit at the dinner table, and break fast together. Maybe watch a movie together. And then we would go read what's called tarawis, which is again these are prayers that are only read during Ramadan. And man, to this day, I oh my god, I can't stand reading tarawis. Man, the masjid is packed to the brim. You barely. I'm 6'2", 280. Back in the day, I was 6'1", 212, 215. I was always a pretty large human, and I'm packed into this masjid like a freaking can of sardines. I have nowhere to move, trying to read namaz, and I can't do anything. It smells, it's sweaty, it's sticky, and the prayer is 2 hours long because we're reading from the front of the Quran to the back of the Quran during this whole process. And so each day you take a chunk and you have to stand there while the imam or the pastor is reading the verses from the Quran. So it's something that maybe when I get older I'll appreciate Tarawih a little bit more. But even to this day, I see I see the purpose in it, and I love my religion, so I go and I do it. But it's still something I haven't developed that appreciation for. But yeah, I think that's another thing. And I think you're completely right, Vicious. That all of these holidays and things like that, these traditions and things, they're always centered around being around your family and around your loved ones. So I think it's always a great excuse for families to come together and just have one day out of the year where they can just relax and chill together and, you know, gift giving.
Okay. Okay. Very. I appreciate you kind of giving us more insight. Different religions have their different things, so it's cool to kind of hear about that and hear about those traditions for you as well.
Yes, sir.
But I guess we're getting also close to the New Year. Murph, is there anything you usually do for New Year's? Is there something special with the Muslim religion, or is it just kind of a normal day as well? How does that work?
It's pretty much a new day. It's like the same old day. Sometimes me and Mrs. Murph will we might go out to eat on New Year's, or we just spend the day together just to bring the new year in. But yeah, most of the times, Murph is just either at work or at school or streaming on the New Year's. Is there something you and your family do for the New Year's, Vicious?
I mean, I wouldn't say we necessarily. We used to get together with like family and family friends, and we'd kind of have like a party somewhere. All the kids would hang out, play, and then do
Ooh.
the countdown like you normally do for New Year's. It would kind of change each year. Like the people and stuff like that would kind of change. That was kind of when I was younger. Now it just kind of varies. Kind of depends on where I'm at, who I'm around, and stuff like that. So. I think it was that last year? Might have been last year. I was on the road for work, and so I spent my New Year's with the basketball team that I worked with, and we had like a small little thing of like Martinelli's and stuff like that, and kind of went in the room. But like we had a game the next day, so it was kind of like, okay, once this hits, okay, celebrate, woohoo, okay, everyone needs to get to bed because we got a game the next day. So so it kind of varies. Sometimes it's hanging out with friends, sometimes it's hanging out with family. I just kind of, just kind of varies. Working basketball the last 3 years, haven't really got the full effect of New Year's just because most of the time we're on the road or practice or whatever, so don't get really the full experience. Like going out, hanging out with friends, or drinking if
Mm.
people drink, whatever it may be. So but so I'm interested, kind of, so far, no big plans for the year, New Year's Eve, but I'm assuming something will pop up here in the next little bit. So
Okay, okay.
and
Now I got a question,
okay,
Vicious. What was your favorite present that you received?
favorite present I ever. It's been hard. I'm kind of a usually I'm telling people just money or gift cards in the last 8 years, because usually if I want something or I'm debating about it, usually I end up go buying it. So
Yeah.
or it's like, hey, I need this. I'm not gonna wait 2 months to get this because I need it now, not or so. Um, you know, it kind of varies. I've gotten a lot of stuff that I've really enjoyed and really liked. I feel like you know around the Christmas time, you always are kind of like, oh, I like this or I like that, and so you kind of have an idea what you're getting. I knew when I was younger it was a lot of action figures. Getting the Batmans, the Supermans. Because Marvel at that time wasn't really, or Spider Man, because that was really the only Marvel thing that was actually that good at the time. Um,
Yeah.
so but and then kind of as I grew up, it just became more. I was okay with just getting new T-shirts, socks, anything like that, because it's like, oh, that's something I don't have to buy.
Right.
So, but yeah, off the top of my head, I can't really think of one thing. I'm like, oh, okay, this was one of my things. Like, I always appreciated everything I got.
Okay. 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 Okay.
So, and we,
What is?
sorry, go
Oops.
ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Murph.
No, I was gonna say, what's one of the Christmases or a couple of the Christmases that are very memorable to you, even as a child, or maybe you had one or two recently that were very, very memorable to you.
The last few years again with basketball, it's kind of been hard. I haven't really got the full Christmas experience, and that's the hard part with just college basketball, and because typically you're playing on the 21st, 22nd, and then you're back to practice on the 26th. I mean,
Oh, okay.
so like you didn't like it was those ones weren't bad. It was just when I'd come, it was like just go, go, go. You had to kind of come home. If you're trying to hang out with some like people that are in town that you went to school with, then you were trying to hang out. So there was a bunch of different people you were trying to see. Plus, being around family and stuff like that, trying to, So, but you know, kind of, growing up, parents getting divorced, that kind of changes things too, in terms of that, because then, again, now you have kind of, instead of being married, you have two families that you kind of have to split your time with. You're kind of married, not married, essentially. But, I wouldn't say there's one Christmas over any others that I would say, like, oh, this was like my favorite Christmas. Maybe back then I was like, oh, that's my favorite Christmas. But kind of going from now till like overview thing, I feel like it was, I don't really have like, I wouldn't say one was like more particularly better than the other. Again, it's,
Okay.
I get to be around people, um, and I feel like, you know, as I said, I get kind of more just kind of money or something like that when I, as I get older and ask for that, because I'm like, it helps pay the, bills or what, whatever it may be. I feel like Christmas, it just kind of sometimes feels like another day. It's kind of like, oh, well, you're just, doing dinner with this family, doing this, with your family. So it kind of somewhat feels the same, but also at the end of the day, like, just kind of seems like another day.
Okay.
But
Okay. Okay.
I think when things come around, grow up, having a family, having my own kids, I think it'll kind of change the perspective, because you're trying to make it good for your wife, or your husband, your whatever, as well as your kids. You want to have them have a good day as well. So have as you're around, I think, little more kids, as my kid, my sisters are older, but now my sister has I have like a little niece. So it might kind of change my perspective, because from her, it's a new thing. You're trying to bring back that joy of what you had when you were a little kid.
Yeah. Trying to make sure that it's good for them and you can help create a memory for them.
Yeah, and kind of help build, because I used to love when my aunts and uncles would come, because you come bring in you pick that one couch and you come over like, see, look at the cool things that Santa brought me and stuff like that, and
Right.
so it was kind of like, oh, look at this, and you wanted to show them like every little tiny detail that you got. So I think now having some niece, a niece, and two nieces or nephews on up on the way, I think that'll kind of bring some more of that fun to it, because then there's going to be more little kids to bring that joy to that you knew you had when you were a little kid.
Right. I think that's dope, man. That's awesome that you're doing that, Vicioso.
Yeah. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So, we kind of talked, a little bit of New Year's as well, Murph, do you have like any like New Year's resolutions, or is that something you typically do, or just kind of, it's a
Um,
new year, like I'm not going to make a resolution because it's a new year type thing?
well, I mean, I look at New Year's resolution probably a little bit differently than I'm not gonna say I'm not like I'm so different. No, but like I think my theory is always if I want to see a change in myself, why wait for the new year? You know, I just kind of start making those changes for myself. Like, for example, I really wanted to hit 400 on bench this year, which I was unsuccessful at, but I got close. But and I didn't
Still
wait for the
time.
new year
Still
to.
time.
Yeah, no, I know, but well, I hit 375, and my body just like fell apart for like a week straight. Like my shoulders were locked, my back was in so much pain. My biceps, like my arms hurt on a different level. So I think I didn't bulk enough to make my body feel safe and to be able to carry that trauma. So, but I got to 375 though. So I feel like I'll just stop there because I think if I keep chasing 400, I'll really get hurt. But like I didn't wait till New Year's to last year to make that goal that I want to hit 400 this year at some point. I just kind of like you were there the whole time when I started my bulk because I think I told everybody and I was talking about it like 24/7 like a weirdo. But I was excited, so um, I just kind of started doing it, and then I just went to the gym and started implementing those things to you know hit 400.
Okay.
What about you, Vicious? How do you? What are your thoughts on New Year's resolutions,
You
or do
know,
you have any?
I think it's a good thing, like you kind of said it. It's good to, have those goals and dreams. But again, I'm similar to you. Like, just because it's the new year doesn't, like, you could have easily um, done it, at different times, done something, just because it's a new year doesn't mean you could have done it. Like, if it's something that you've been thinking about last couple months, start it now. You kind of,
Exactly.
I was talking to a coworker the other day, and they kind of put it good. Like, if you are planning on doing something, working out or whatever like that, like take it in steps. You don't have to all of a sudden just change. And I feel like sometimes with New Year's resolutions, it is like, well, I got to do this. Like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy. And then they start eating healthy and just go straight out all healthy, in that first 2 weeks. And sometimes
Right.
your body or yourself doesn't know how to act because all of a sudden you go from one extreme to the next extreme. Like your body just sometimes doesn't know how to react. You don't really like. You're kind of like and it's harder because you kind of put all this effort and then you kind of get tired of it and stuff like that. So it's about building those steps. I feel like, and so it's
Right.
making those New Year's resolutions. Those are good, but making sure you're taking it in steps and not all of a sudden just okay, I'm eating healthy. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to, do this, do that. And all of a sudden just doing all of that in a matter of 1 week, 2 weeks. Like, you need a, you can have those resolutions, but no, they're New Year's resolution. It's, those resolutions are supposed to go for the entire year. But again, just
Right.
because things may change and you can change those resolutions just because you said, oh, New Year's resolution, I'm going to do this. Like, you can change those. You can make things change and stuff like that. So um,
Yeah.
at least that's my opinion. I think they're good, but again, just waiting for New Year's is not the greatest thing to do. You can make
I
those,
agree.
make it when you can make time for it. Just don't because it's the new year. You have to make those resolutions. Those resolutions you can make a New Year resolution in June if you wanted to. It's all about doing what you want to do and bettering yourself in whatever situation that may be.
I agree. Why wait a couple of months when you can start now? It's like those commercials, man, from back in the day where he's like, "What are you waiting for? Get up, do it now. Go do it now. Sign up for school. Go back to school now. It's never too late. Go now." I'm like, yeah. What would you wait for? Just start your stuff now, and then maybe by the time New Year's comes around, you may have even hit your goal.
Yeah. Or you may have came up with multiple or more goals that weren't initially your goal. You know.
Exactly. See?
But so, uh, well, Murph, what is your
Is there?
question for today?
Um. Hmm.
And if anyone in chat has any questions for us, feel free to put them in chat and we'll get those answered for you.
Oh. What was one gift as a child that you always wanted that you never got? But me. Sorry, I had cereal last
Oh,
night.
you're good.
Um. Uh. Or like as an adult, and you were like, "Man, I've always wanted this," so then you just went and got it.
Um, hmm. Honestly, I'd say a lot of like gaming systems, especially as I got older, it's kind of like, oh, I really want this. And then you end up going to getting it yourself. And I think that's just kind of the gamer in me, I always want to be able to kind of, if I can afford to have kind of like the newer systems and stuff like that, or if it's been out a while, I'll be like, oh yeah, I really want that because, this person has it. I mean, you're kind of getting away from that, but because there's this game coming up, and it's not
Mhm.
you release on the old system; it's on the new. So yeah, I'd say probably like gaming systems.
Okay, okay.
So
I think one thing for me, un-Christmas related. I'm still working on it because of some stuff going on, but a PC is something I've always wanted since I was a young lad. I always saw like I was really into competitive Warzone and competitive Madden when I was growing up, and Madden is just the most competitive on console. So I was thankful that randomly my uncle would like buy me a console every now and then. And my first actual Nintendo DS, my older brother and his dad actually bought it for me. I think it was for like my 8th birthday or my 9th birthday because I still remember getting on the school bus. But they bought me Spider Man and Call of Duty with it.
oh,
But I think a PC is that one thing that like I've always wanted, and now as an adult, I'm working towards getting it for myself now.
okay, we like it. We like it.
Sure.
Well, I am not seeing any questions. Seems like this will be a little bit of shorter episode for everyone. But uh, we appreciate everyone that tunes in. Dom, Star War Frog, and Zelda. We appreciate all you tuning in with us live, as well as anybody else that may be tuning in, as well as any of you that may be watching on YouTube. We appreciate you tuning into this. And I think, for myself and Murph, we hope everyone has good holidays, whether however you spend it. Hope it's good, whether that's um, you celebrate Christmas, you don't celebrate Christmas, you celebrate New Year's, any of those. We hope around this time you guys are enjoying time with your family and all of that stuff. And, hopefully you guys have safe holidays. So appreciate all you that tuned in as always, and we'll catch you guys next time.